Hey, good morning everybody, good afternoon, good evening. It's Tuesday tip time. So today we're going to talk about dog bites. We're going to talk about the law in the state of Illinois, and then we're going to talk about the practicalities of this whole idea. So first of all, dog bites in the state of Illinois. In the state of Illinois, a dog bite is what we call a strict liability case. And so what that means is if the dog bites, then you're on the hook. So if your dog bites somebody else, or somebody else's dog bites you, then you're responsible. You're liable for their damages. Now, there are affirmative defenses, so that means there's a way to counteract that. Affirmative defenses are if the dog bites on your property. So if they come onto your property and they were not authorized to come onto your property, then that's an affirmative defense and you're not on the hook. Now, if you invite them onto your property and the dog bites, now it's a different situation, especially if you knew the dog had a possibility of biting. Then you needed to warn them, or you needed to protect them from the dog in some fashion. But the standard situation is if the dog bites, you're on the hook. And this happens a lot. We get probably 2 phone calls of this a week of a dog bite situation. Now, it is covered by homeowners insurance. Now, in the state of Illinois, until recently, your homeowner's insurance could cancel out certain dogs, namely pit bulls. And the state of Illinois just passed a new law that made it so that insurance companies cannot do that anymore. They cannot preclude a pit bull. However, they can preclude it if they determine that the law, if the dog is a dangerous animal under the Animal Control Act. So there's still a way for the insurance company to get around it. So, basic rule, dog bites, owner of the dog is on the hook, period. That's kind of standard deal. They have affirmative defenses if you were antagonizing the dog, if you came onto the owner's property, teasing the dog, something like that. Also, if the dog attacks another dog, same thing, you're on the hook for those types of things. You do have affirmative defenses. Your insurance company cannot deny your coverage now for your pit bull. However, they can make their own evaluation and determine that it's a dangerous animal, and because of that, decide not to cover it. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture stuff. I told you we see dog bites twice a week. We have somebody come in with a dog bite issue. Every dog is a pit bull that bites, every one. And when I started practicing law 31 years ago, I didn't hear that. It was Doberman Pinschers, and German Shepherds, and typically it was dogs that were kind of raised to be more aggressive dogs. It was dogs that were raised to be guard dogs. So pit bull owners, and I'm standing in the room with one of them, pit bull owners love their pit bulls, and pit bulls are the nicest dogs ever. They are, right up until they bite. You know, when you're thinking about a dog, and I'm a dog guy, when you're thinking about a dog for your family, the breed matters. Think about that when you bring a dog into your house. Pit bulls were bred for one thing, fighting. That's it. That's all that they were bred to do. So they're super sweet dogs, and then all of a sudden they decide it's time to fight. That's like people now want huskies. Huskies were never designed to be a dog that's inside your house. They were designed to be out front in the snow, and then they pulled your sled. So if you bring a husky into your house, they're typically not going to be very good with kids, and they're not going to be very good with family, and they have a tendency to run away, like my new puppy. If you've been watching anything on Facebook, my dog Hussein, as we're going to name him when we get him back, who bolted because he decides to run away. And that we knew that dog was a problem dog when we got him. So number one, if your dog bites, you're on the hook almost all the time. It is covered by your insurance, but your insurance can determine that your dog is a dangerous dog, and so therefore it's not going to cover. And think about the breed that you get. The best family dogs are the Labs, they're the Irish Setters, they're the Golden Retrievers. There's a reason that those dogs are so popular with families, and it's because they're really good. And we don't ever see those dogs biting. We don't see German Shepherds biting anymore. Now, probably it's because there's not very many German Shepherds, but we see pit bulls biting all the time. So if you're going to bring one into your house, you got to be leery of that. And they do tons of damage. The problem is when they bite, they hang on and they don't let go. We see kids losing their eyes. You know, that's not uncommon at all for an eye to get lost because of a pit bull bite, because of some little thing. One kid pushes another kid in the sandbox, and the next thing you know, the pit bull's on their face. So check with your insurance. Make sure you notify them if you have a dog, and if they ask you the breed, make sure that you're very clear as to what the breed is. If they try to deny coverage, Illinois has just changed the law with regards to that, so you can appeal that decision to your insurance company. And if they do determine that the dog is a dangerous dog, they have to do it under the Animal Control Act and under the rules and regulations that cover that. Hope that was helpful and hope you had a great time today. See you next week for another Tuesday Tip.